Am I the butthole for talking about things from the South when I moved to California that resulted in several coworkers calling me a racist and reporting to HR? Throwaway here, I'll make this quick. Me, 24 male, raised for most of my life in the Southern US, politically middle of the road, probably lean a little left, half white, half Egyptian, so light-skinned, relevant later, think Rami Malek. I moved from the Southern US to Cali about 6 months ago. I have a pretty noticeable Southern accent. I started work in my field, office job, when I got there. I moved for 2 reasons, job and I wanted to get away from the super conservative area I lived in. Office is pretty large and pretty diverse as far as racially. Now on to the story. Coworkers and I were discussing camping. Was a fun talk until mosquitoes were brought up. One coworker said something to the effect of, "I always get bit and itch for days, they are the worst." I then said mosquitoes are easy. We have chiggers and they are a million times worse if you get a bunch of them. Tiny bug makes you itch for days to weeks, it's awful, they are all over the South. We finished the conversation and everyone went back to work. Next day I was pulled into HR with several of my coworkers to try and mediate an issue. One black and one white coworker that were a part of the camping talk had reported me for being racist. They say any word near the N-word is racist, and because I'm white I can't use that term as it's so close. Chiggers are what everyone calls them. I told my side of the story and also informed them I was half Egyptian, which I phrased as I was born in Africa to a white mom and Egyptian dad, which is relevant in a minute. Here's where I may have been the butthole. HR basically said doesn't look like a problem, after Googling the chiggers, and is a misunderstanding. I asked my coworkers if we couldn't throw the race card around, and just because I'm light-skinned and have a Southern accent doesn't mean I'm a racist. They both basically started apologizing like crazy, saying they didn't know, etc. etc. Basically I pulled the race card asking them not to, but I feel mine was justified? What do y'all think? Not the butthole. I've never lived south of the Mason-Dixon line and chiggers are still a term I'm well familiar with. Right, everyone calls them that, like east of Oklahoma. We called them that in Oklahoma too. Pause to Google what they call them everywhere else. Well damn, that's interesting. Trombiculidae, commonly referred to as chiggers, but also known as berry bugs, harvest mites, red bugs, scrub itch mites, or oodas, are a family of mites. Chiggers are often confused with jiggers, a type of flea. If they've never heard of chiggers, you'd probably better not start talking about the type of flea mentioned here. Web link. I really want to know what Ops coworkers would think if he started talking about his favorite childhood character, Tigger from Winnie the Pooh. It'd probably trigger their jiggers to hear of Tigger and chiggers. This problem's much bigger. They should go to A- so they can be diggers. Edit, holy crap. I've never gotten this many likes or awards on a comment before. Thanks everyone. This made me SN word. Edit, hey, didn't even know some of these awards existed. Neato. Once had to tell my loud Jewish aunt to tone it down at a restaurant when she started talking about her knitter friends. What's up, my knitta? Next time I Zoom with my knitting group, I am opening with that. What's up, my knittas? The old black grannies in the group are going to love it. ETA, I forgot to add that. I'd never do that to these black grannies. Now, the black aunties in my second knitting Zoom group? Absolutely. Their favorite pastime is to collect the worst racist jokes they can find and laugh at us white people as we squirm in horror and try not to laugh because some of them are hysterical and absolutely vile at the same time. NGL, I'd be surprised if they do. Most American black people have had to hear every joking, and non-joking, variation of the N-word. It's just not that funny, and never funny from not black people, because for a second it's always like, did they just call me that? Until you realized what they actually said. And then it's just oh. Ha. 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 Obligatory laugh. I used to be in a World of Warcraft PvP team called What's Up My Naga? And another called Sweaty Naga Balls. My black ex-boyfriend started them and made me heal. Naga are a race of fish people in WoW. Too legit to knit. I can't see how many upvotes this comment has, but I guarantee it's not enough. Sports medal. This thread has lots of rigor. I have knitting friends and I busted out laughing when I read this. My aunt and I were talking about our various hooker friends at a restaurant to the horror of our family. We crochet. Edit. Given the content of this post and the fact that I'm currently sitting at 69 upvotes, I'm legally required to add this update. Nice. This reminded me of a video. YouTube link. I love this one. Web link. What if original poster had bought clothes too small and needed a size bigger? Guess we can't put vinegar on fries no more. I was in high school, this was freshman year, and it was a little before first period began, and I was walking down one of the halls and there was a strong smell in the hall, and I said to my friend, "Goddamn, it smells like vinegar in here." That's when this black guy who was walking with his friend stopped me. He said, Hey, what you say, little man? Did you say something?" I'm totally flummoxed. I had no idea why he stopped me, and I was just so confused and said nothing. I said, "It smells like vinegar in here. I can smell it out here. I think it's one of the science classes." His friend was cracking up and told his friend, "Bro, leave him alone, you are so dumb, bro." And so they just kind of walk away while his friend is clowning him, and my friend was dying laughing. I kind of nervously laugh, having no clue what just happened. About 6 years later I remembered that interaction and it hit me. He thought I said, "Goddamn, it smells like N-word in here." I was mortified. He's going to have to die, so hire a digger. And I'm over here, a certified rigger. This argument is silly, I figure. And not a little guy, he needs a bigger digger. He should start going by this name. Or if they were from England and mentioned knickers. I've never heard any of the other names, other than jigger, which I have heard, which I usually associate with drink measurements, lol. Maybe I call them berry bugs as a compromise, lol. I'm from the UK and I've heard of chiggers, even though we don't have them here, because they were mentioned on one of the CSIs. The original, I think, but could have been the Miami one. I remember that episode. It was the original. There was also a line about them on Reno 911. Till that jiggers and chiggers are actually different animals. Jiggers are a type of flea, and chiggers are a type of mite. Figures. You shouldn't have to compromise. You've done nothing wrong. People can't just screech racism because there are words that exist that happen to share spelling with a slur. That's like saying since leotard sounds similar to the R slur, no one's allowed to say it, even though it's a piece of clothing. The only other name I've heard them called was noseums, and that was a phrase used the American Southwest. Everywhere else in the States it was always chiggers or sand fleas. Up in the Great White North of southern Canada we have chiggers and noseums. Noseums are little flies that bite you but you can't feel it. You notice that you have been bit when you find bits of dried blood on and around your ears and neck. They're also called sand flies. You should start going by Tigger. We called them chiggers in Texas too. Nasty little buggers they are. I live in England and I've heard them called that in America shows that are aired here. Never seen anyone I know react badly to it, not even my one relative who purposely likes to pick fault and cause fights. They will pretend to be offended by the most mundane stuff just to annoy people who don't know they don't seriously think what they are saying. Surely they could have Googled the bug or asked original poster to clarify, mention why they had felt iffy about it. Have a grown-up discussion instead of immediately thinking the worst and making a report. Op is not the butthole for any of this in my opinion. They weren't wrong to point out the assumptions made about them were incredibly wrong and hurtful. Side note, people were posting mean stuff about why is this white guy playing an Egyptian, when Night of the Museum came out. People had to point out Rami isn't white and is Egyptian. Wouldn't want to mention alcohol measuring devices, people who dig holes, people who rig things that are in the process of becoming more large, certain synonyms for physical health, certain synonyms for activating something and or specific types of switch, people who get into relationships because their partner is wealthy, being unbending, or people who are obligated to do something either. Definitely. Might be a trigger. People who pack parachutes too. I've only known them as chiggers. I'm in Michigan. I grew up in Michigan and we called them chiggers. Live in New Hampshire now, still called chiggers here, too. I am from California and I learned about chiggers from a book that called them by this name. Not the butthole coworkers shouldn't have just assumed your race or that you were being racist. I've wasted so much nail polish on those damn bugs. Everyone calls them chiggers. Under what rock have they been living under? It's California. I escaped from there, but so many people that live there can be a little out of touch with the rest of the way the country works or does. I have a cousin from TN who called them blood bugs because when you squish/wipe them, they leave a red trail. I'm a SoCal native and I've heard of chiggers. Your coworkers are weird. NorCal, and same. I live in Canada and have heard about chiggers. Did I have to Google them to know what they look like? Yes. Did I know they were part of the bitey insect cabal? Also yes. Bitey insect cabal is absolutely fantastic, and I am stealing it from now on. Oh, for crying out loud, I live in Australia and I knew what chiggers were. Not the butthole that your Cali co-workers are ill-educated and needed you to pull the race card to get them to apologize. Honestly, I feel like they made assumptions about you possibly. Just because you're Southern doesn't make you racist. Trying to put myself in their shoes, if I heard a co-worker use that word, a word I never heard before, I'd give them the benefit of the doubt first. I'd wait and look up the word before I walk around accusing someone of being racist. People are really eager to find examples of racism to prove how unracist they are. It's just as damaging. ETA, what kind of bullcrap-ass office do you work at where people act like this? It's like an episode from The Office or even dumber. From the sounds of it, the co-workers were perfectly well aware that original poster had said chigger, but are of the opinion that a white person even rhyming with the N-word is somehow racist. I agree though, it's as if they are so desperate to be PC that they actually go all the way through to the other side and become reverse racist. I'd ask for clarification. I've been in situations like this where I don't recognize a word or maybe think I'm mishearing something. This conversation could have easily gone like, chiggers are worse than mosquitoes. Chiggers? Yeah, the little bugs that burrow into your skin. Do you guys not have them here? Oh, no. Man, I thought you were using some kind of slur or something, haha. Even if it was a racial slur, asking for clarification or almost playing dumb and trying to get someone to explain their racism/racist joke is a really good way to respond to microaggressions without being confrontational. And oftentimes, the person who made the offensive comment will backtrack and realize their bigotry isn't accepted or shared. I just had chiggers, funnily enough, was down in the Smokies. Haha, I'm from Jersey and have never heard them called anything else. First time I had them was in Canada as a kid and they called that there too. Chiggers and noseums are evil, love bugs are right up there too, the nasties flying into your mouth. My dad's friend once said they're called chakros, but that's all they're called in the Midwest as far as I can tell. I think they prefer the term insect American now. I live literally as far from the south as possible in the continental US and I still have heard about chiggers a few different times. I'm from Canada and they're called chiggers here too. I'm in Western Canada, and I've never heard of them. NTA. I live in London and I've never been to the southern states of the USA and even I know what a chigger is. Yep. Suffolk and even this rural woman knows what a chigger is. I'm in Canada and even I am familiar with the term chiggers. I've never seen one, but always assumed they were similar to no-see-ums, which are also nasty little bastards. I didn't run into them until I was in my early 30s. One experience was too many. To me, no-see-ums are gnat/biting midges. I think chiggers are more like a mite or tick. One's an insect, the other is an arachnid. I'm from Minnesota and that's what I'm used to calling them, too. I live in Canada and if after having a conversation about mosquitoes, someone said chiggers are worse, I would naturally assume they were another kind of annoying flying insect that bites. We called them chiggers in Michigan and Pennsylvania, too. Michigan here. Don't think I have ever seen one here, but I am aware that chiggers are a thing. Grew up in Seattle and we called them chiggers there, too. NTA. Who the hell hasn't heard of chiggers? I was born and raised in CA, lived there until after college. There's mountains, and hiking and sure as hell there are chiggers. Not to the extent that there are in the South, but they are there. Edit. so I'm going to say that I'm the butthole for assuming this critter was common knowledge when that clearly isn't the case. As so many others have noted, that even though they'd never heard the term, they understood from context that it was an insect of sorts. Till those little bastards are everywhere. I met a guy with the nickname Chigger once. I learned very quickly it's because he's so annoying that everything he does just gets under your skin. The nickname didn't even bother the poor guy. Getting under people's skin is a very, very special talent. So instead of asking what chiggers are, they assumed you were saying something close to the N-word? While you guys were talking about insects? WTH? Not the butthole. Worse, it almost sounds like they knew what it meant, but in their wokeness have decided that any word near the N-word is racist, near as in just sounds a little like. It's disingenuous at best. Social pressure. Once one person calls something racist, everyone has to agree or be called racist themselves, even if they don't actually believe it. Critical thinking and common sense are sorely lacking in today's America. It's not that it's lacking, it's that it's actively discouraged by the woke side of the spectrum. It's like a religion: when your social standing relies on not questioning what people say, you learn not to. Exactly, this is ridiculous. Makes me think of the Naggers episode of South Park. I was going to say the same thing if someone hadn't beat me to it. I hate this woke crap. It's so inconsistent and incorrect, it's ignorant, just plain stupid. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.